Welcome to InnovativePhysiqueDevelopment.com. My name is Robert Malik, ISSA Elite Trainer with 18 certifications from Science of Sport. Today's bodybuilding and training episode is about form and having form work for you, rather than you working for the form. Bodybuilding is not technique and activity based, it's muscle based. So you want to feel what you want to feel. You want to feel the muscles that you want to target. Okay? So when you're doing a certain movement, you're thinking, what muscle do I want to target? You focus on that muscle, mind-muscle connection, all right? And you make that happen, okay? I want to go over the different muscles and what movements are necessary to target the various muscles. Now, let me give you an example of what is like technique or activity based rather than muscle based. We have a golf swing, for instance, a baseball batting stance, jiu-jitsu techniques, and in bodybuilding, we have bench pressing, squat, and deadlift. Interestingly, those three exercises are commonly associated with injury. With all the years that I've been in the gym, three exercises that I hear repeatedly that have caused injury: squat, deadlift, and bench. Interestingly, those exercises are not muscle based, they're technique based exercises, right? Where you have people that specialize in the bench, people that specialize in the squat to help you get out more poundage on the squat, perfect squat form, and the whole thing with the deadlift as well. It's a movement based exercise where you're getting away from just focusing on specific muscles. Now, regarding the squat and the deadlift, we also have the matter of spinal compression. And as you age, your spine will actually compress over time by gravity alone and causes problems, much less if you start to stress your spine by compressing it with hundreds of pounds. This is not a good idea, all right? If anything, the exercise that you want to do to help preserve your spine, which is so critically important, is hangs. Just hang from something. And you do that when, anytime you go and work out, do some hangs, between anywhere from 15 to 30 seconds, a couple of sets. It'll also work on your grip too. So there are other exercises that you can do in lieu of the squat or the deadlift that will get the same muscles without putting the undue compression on your spine. And regarding the bench, you can use a bench press machine. The problem with that is if you get too strong and you need more weight than what the bench press machine provides, well, that's for very, very few people. So this presentation is for 99.999% of people, where you can use a bench press machine, and if need be, if you have to load an extra plate onto the stack, this covers just about everybody. For those people that are really serious, onto the bench, okay, but those are the few. The problem I have with the bench is that you're locked in to balance that weight. This is not about what you're feeling. This is about the weight and the activity rather than you. You're not focusing on you, you're focusing in on this weight and getting away from feeling certain muscles where, oh, I think I'll move my arm down here, and you can drop the weight that way. So that's the problem that I have with that. is that you're getting away from focusing on the muscles and more on the movement. And then historically, because of that, this has created injuries where, you know what, if you have to have that weight in a certain position so it doesn't fall, doesn't get out of balance, you're not going to move your arm down an inch. And that's exactly what you may need. That inch down or inch up is what can give your shoulder or pec the adjustment that it needed. All right. So, okay, moving on from there. Let's talk about the various muscles and move forward. We'll start off with muscles of the trapezius on top here. All right. Now, these muscles bring your shoulders up like this. Okay, and they also bring your shoulders back. All right. And when you bring your shoulders, your scapula back, you're also getting the rhomboids as well. And when you're doing your shoulder raises, okay, your shoulder raises, or if you're, let's say, if you're doing cross-country skiing, a cross-country ski walk, you're hiking with staffs like I do, and others do, then you're also getting your traps into it as well, all right? So you're gonna get your traps in by doing your shoulder raises, okay? Palms facing and palms down and shoulder raises. You're also gonna get your traps in when you're doing side shoulder raises, okay? Palms down. You're gonna get your traps in if you raise your shoulders up and also back. So, should you be doing your shoulder raises? Yes, and then you'll get your traps. When it comes to getting your traps going back, right? So when you do your back work, then if you are doing close grip, for instance, and you draw your scapula back, and you come back this way, you'll get your traps that way, all right? And also you'll get your traps if you raise your shoulders up this way with, let's say, dumbbells or a cable, and if you have your hands to the front coming up this way as well. So we have on the traps a little bit complex, so you're getting your traps when you're doing your shoulder work, all right? You're getting your traps, bring your shoulders up like this here, as well as over here, and also when you bring your scapula backwards. Okay, traps do a couple of different things. So that's the trap part. Now, you know what? Let me just show you this here. All right. When you're doing back work, if your palms are on a close grip and you come back, draw your scapula back like this. Okay. This is where you're getting your traps and also your rhomboids. All right. Now, this is different from when you're getting in your teres major, teres minor, and infraspinatus, which is where you're simply doing low pull here and you're coming straight back. This is very different than when your palms are together and you're coming back this way, all right? So if you're here, right, coming back this way, on a close grip, it's pulling out on you and you're coming back. This, matter of fact, when I go out to the beach and I do my pulls, I have one handle. I put my hands in together on one handle. I lock my fingers together. So I have that maximum V going forward here, with a maximum angle pull out on my scapula. And then I'll come back, get that total stretch on the traps and pull it in. Right? So this is different from pulling this way. This is not this. Okay, so let's move forward from the traps. On the shoulders, like I was showing you, we have side delts as well as front delts. Okay. All right. side delts, palms down, front delts, palms facing each other, as well as down. All right. Okay. Oh, pardon me. Now, also going backwards for rear delts. Okay. Palms facing each other for rear delts, as well as palms down. Right? So you see, let's say on the machine or doing these cables, palms facing each other, as well as palms down. Right? Okay. So we got here, 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 and here, here, and here, here, whether you're doing this with 2 arms, all right, 1 arm, however you want to do it, those are the various movements for that. Okay, moving forward from there, and I'll get into angles a little bit later. Well, matter of fact, maybe I'll just touch on some angles at this time. When you're exercising, it's a good idea to get different angles. All right. So on the rear delts, if you're doing your cable work, you see it on the machine, you can do some reps at this height, as well as do some reps where you go lower, right, and move up and down. So as you get different angles. All right. Okay. Going on to the chest. Right. You're doing chest. You got palms together, and you want to have your low angle for your pectoralis major, your high for your pectoralis minor, and you have muscles that, of course, are going throughout. So all your different angles. Doing flies, all your different angles. And if you turn your palms down as if you're doing this and you come and you turn your palms as you go forward here, and even if you start this way, okay, you're going to be getting a little bit of your front delts in here as well. So with the front delts, yes, I showed you this way in the front delts, but when you're doing chest, you'll also be getting a little bit of your front delts too. You want to focus on the chest when you work the chest, but you are going to get in some of your front delts, and that's okay. Now, you'll find that you get more of your front delts in when you have your palms down in down position, and that's okay. You should do some reps that way, as well as do reps with your palms facing each other. Palms facing each other, we'll target a little more of the chest, and palms down, we'll target a little more of the front delts. Okay. When you're on the bench press machine, which is a good idea to do as well as flies. Okay, so you're on the bench press machine. Use some different angles. Use some different seating positions. Have your power position right in the middle, and then move the seat up and down. So you get upper chest and lower chest. As you see it down lower, you get upper chest. As you see it down higher, you get lower chest. It may feel a little bit awkward, but you can have your power zone right in the middle, as well as your lower weight. You can drop the weight on you can call it your unusual angles or outside of your power zone. But do that. Move your seat up and down and get different angles on your chest. Just like when you're doing flies, hitting different angles. Change the cable positions. All right. So you start off at the top and then do a set, boom, boom, as you go down. So you get different angles of on your chest. All right. Okay. So moving forward from here, I want to talk about the back, and with your lats, lats are involved with this type of movement, where you're drawing them down, okay? One of the problems with the lat pull-down machine is with a bar, like you got to try and get your head out of the way, right? So what I'm presently in development of a certain accessory to address that. However, for now, what I recommend is grab a cable, all right, and pull right in the pocket right here. Grab a cable, wham. Okay, so here, left, right, left, right. You can go two at the same time if you like. Left, okay, so left, right, and you can alternate, do two at the same time. This is the movement right in the pocket there. All right, now, when you're doing pulls, okay, you're going here. As I said before, teres major, teres minor, infraspinatus, right? Yeah, you'll get some lats in, but I'm talking about what you're focusing on right now, okay? And this is different from having close grip and drawing the scapula back, where you're getting the rhomboids and the trapezius. So you find at the gym where you have close grip and also your wider grip. If you're close grip, what I like to do sometimes is have just one handle, bring my fingers in together, like this or like this, okay, however you feel comfortable, and then draw backwards. I like to get a good pull here, where it pulls out on your scapula with this, and you see this V, and then you draw back, and this here gets also the biceps, and this here is hitting more of the brachialis on the sides. This is more of a bicep and trapezius and rhomboid movement. This is more of a brachialis, teres major, teres minor, and infraspinatus. So also, when you're doing your back, the high pulls, okay? So this is important also to get in your traps as well as your rhomboids. This will get in your rear delts. Rear delts, you have your palms facing this position and also here, and you could do that, and you could follow up with that, not just with flies, but also with pulls, okay? So we'll be pulling high, palms here, and as well as your palms in this position. Now, there's also machines where you pull with your palms up for biceps, as well as teres major, teres minor, and infraspinatus. That's great. Have your palms facing each other for teres major, teres minor, infraspinatus, and also brachialis more than the bicep. So this is more bicep, this is more brachialis. A little bit, see, here's the thing. This may be like a little complex, but the point is that once you start to understand the muscles that you want to hit, then you can make exercises work for you. All right? So I'm giving you some examples here on this machine or on that machine. But it really isn't as complex as what it seems. You want to feel these various muscles. You want to feel your lats on the lat pull down. All right. You want to feel those teres major, teres minor, and infraspinatus in the back as you do this, which is different from this. You want to feel your biceps rather than your brachialis. So you're feeling all these different muscles, and you want to be aware of the muscles that you want to work. Okay. All right. Now, in reference to the biceps, I brought up bicep here, in the palm up position is the bicep, and the palms facing each other, it's the brachialis on the side. Okay, not too difficult. For triceps, you want to do palms facing each other, well as palms up and palms down. 1, 2, and 3. All right. There is some information out now that's swirling on the internet that to work triceps, you only have to do in the palms facing position. This is incorrect. It's incorrect because not only do you have muscle stimulation, you also have something called nerve stimulation and the neural pathways. This is not this, and is not this. In addition to the muscular stimulation, you can feel the muscles turn in your arm as they're turning, they're lengthening, they're shortening. When you have a lengthening of the muscle, you have more development at the ends, at the distal ends. On the contraction, you have more development on the proximal, on the center. So, for example, on the eccentrics, when you come up, you have more development at the ends of the muscle rather than in the center of the muscle. And of course, as you turn your wrist, you're changing the length of the muscle. So, to make a long story short, you definitely want to work your triceps, palms down, palms face each other, and palms up. And if you ever try where you abandon, let's say this, and just do this, try doing the other position and you'll see how relatively weak that you'll be. In addition to all of this, when you do your triceps in 3 different positions, you're getting more forearm development, okay? Well, see, when you're pressing down, you're getting the forearm here, and then this way, it's the forearm here, this way, okay? So you're getting 3 different areas of your forearms. Why would you want to neglect that? Why? So you can wear wrist straps? That's not wise, right? You want to develop your grip and be able to hold what you want to move. I mean, in life, what are you going to do? You're going to say, oh, I'll wear my wrist straps if you have to move something that's heavy? We have to be able to hold on to it. So you certainly want to be doing your triceps at 3 different angles, okay? Now, onto the abdominal section. There are 10 different angles of the core abdominal section. People don't usually know that. I'm like, when I talk with someone, it's like, how, 10? Like, yeah, no, it's actually 10, okay. So, you have going forward, you have going back. Now, I know this is the lower back, the abdominal section, I'm talking about the core. This whole working your, let's say, quote unquote, your abs, right? So forward, back, left, right. Turn left, turn right. 45 left, 45 right. 45 left, 45 right. It's 10 different angles right there. So you want to work all 10. If you're in the gym, okay, for example, here, however you want, you can grab the cable. You're working the cable for this. You get on the machine and you work the rotational abs for it. For your side obliques, where you're coming up with, let's say, 45-pound plate or a cable, whatever, and pulling for your obliques. At any rate, I don't exactly want to get into the machines and the various exercises. That should be another video. But what I do want to get into is just that you understanding the various muscles that you have to hit and you want to feel. And then you can start to formulate, okay, these are my resistance bands. This is what I could do at the beach in the sand. This is what I could do in the water if I'm in the pool and I want to go left to right. You know, it's just like you can then begin to improvise and make exercise form, as I said in the beginning, work for you. It's about what you want to feel, okay? So, all right, let's go a little forward here. Just touch on your forearms for a moment. Forearms down, and then here, and then here. So we got this coming up, and then we got this coming up, and we got this up here, down here, and then turn. All right? You'll be like, Rob, how am I working all that? Well, if you're like almost everybody, you're really not. But you certainly don't want to not do exercises so that you're not getting in your forearms. Like for instance, you're doing triceps, work all three positions, absolutely. Okay, do your hangs, hang from a bar to pull out on your spine. When you go, anytime you go to the gym, do a couple of hangs for 15 to 30 seconds. Pull out on your spine and develop your grip. Okay, if you're hiking with your wood staffs, your weighted staffs, developing the grip and developing your forearms. You're hanging and developing your forearms. Okay, so there's ways to also hit the forearms without necessarily doing all those exercises. This said Cybex had a great machine that they don't make anymore, which was the forearm machine, and you were able to develop your forearms at all different angles, directly with the weight. So that was a great machine, but it's not available anymore. All right, so moving forward, we have the lower body, and with the lower body, it's a little simpler. You have hip flexors in front to raise your legs. All right, you don't do it like this because then this is hamstrings. Okay, so let's raise your legs here. You can have some ankle weights, whatever, or just walk on a treadmill. Hip flexors in front. And of course your gluteals and back that draw your leg back. Everyone knows about those. Gluteus maximus. Okay. Then you have your gluteus medius out to the side. Okay. Move your leg out to the side, the medius. And here we have the adductor and the gracilis muscles. Brings your legs forward. I'm sorry, together. And then also you have the thighs for the quads, leg extensions, for instance, leg presses. Right? And then also as we go forward here, we have the calf muscles. The gastrocnemius is the higher muscle. The soleus is the lower one at the bottom. The gastrocnemius is worked more when your legs are straight. So let's say as you go up and down like this is more of the upper calf, the gastrocnemius. And then if you're seated, so let's say if you're in a leg press and you bend your legs somewhat and you're pressing forward, then you'll feel it more on your soleus underneath. So it's really not that hard. You just have to understand what the muscles do and the various muscles and hitting those muscles. All right? It's not to be made into, I don't want to say the word big deal, but the science and the complexity is how to train these muscles. Not so much the form. The form is in relation to what you want to feel, and you adjust yourself accordingly to what you're trying to feel in bodybuilding. So once you understand that a lat does this as its primary movement, no matter what you're pulling on, it doesn't matter whether it's a cable, whether it's a machine, whether it's a resistance band, it's the same thing. All right, yeah, this is different, a little different from this, but it's not the point. The point is, this is what gets the lats primarily. All right, so if you take a look at the different angles, again, we have the calf up and down like this, then seated with your legs bent a little bit is the soleus. You have your quads where your legs go out this way. You have your hamstrings where your feet go back this way. Okay. Then you have the medius goes out to the sides. Your abductor muscles where it comes in together, where your legs come in together. You have your gluteus maximus where your leg is brought backwards on the maximus movement. You have your core section of your of your 10 angles. That includes your spinal erectors. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right? Move into the arms. You got your biceps here. Palms up, palms facing each other. Biceps, brachialis. Triceps, 3 different positions. Palms down, palms facing each other. Palms up. And then when it comes to chest, brings your arms forward. Okay. Do different angles. Pectoralis major is lower. Pectoralis minor is upper. When you have your palms in downward position, you get a little more of your front delts. All right, different angles there. On the shoulders, right? Palms down, front delts. Palms facing each other, front delts. Palms down, side delts. The rear delts going back this way. All right, palms down. Palms face each other on the rear delts. All right. When you're coming back this way, what are you getting? You're getting your traps and your rhomboids. This way, teres major, teres minor, infraspinatus. And also you have your traps. Your traps raise your shoulders here. Traps also draw your shoulders back. And all right, let's see what else. Pretty much about it. It's not that hard. One thing I want to just alert you about is there are machines that are made where the pivot points on the machine are set up to match up with the pivot point on your joint, on the limb that you want to work on. So I'll give you an example where I see this quite often. On the shoulder raise machines, where you're moving your shoulders, your arms like this, okay? Generally, you want to set your shoulder joints with the pivot points on the machine in front of you, okay? So I see that quite a bit on shoulder raise machines. Whether you're seated, whether you're standing, keep that in mind. Another one that I'll see it on is for machines for flies, for chest. You'll notice where the pivot point is on that fly machine. Tends to come right into where your chest is. The hip flexor machines to raise your leg, all right? You'll find that on the hip flexor machines to raise your leg and also bring it back, it's on line with your hip joint. And if I didn't mention that with the legs, you also want to get the hip flexor in front. I'm sorry if I missed that, but that's also another muscle that you want to hit going up this way, all right? So I wanted to bring that point, and then also the one of different angles. If you're doing flies, for instance, do different angles. If you're doing back, do different angles. Change your seating position. You'll have your most comfortable position right in the middle, and then you could move it up and down from there and go a little bit lighter outside of your desired power zone. It's important to get different angles. So, thing is that when it comes to form, once again, once you understand the muscles, it's what you want to feel in targeting those muscles. If you are doing lat pull downs and you want to feel it in your lats, and then you take a lat pull down and you do it and you change that into a press down, well, that's not good form if you don't want to feel your triceps when you're doing lats. If you're doing a lat pull down, why would you want to bring that into a tricep? I see some people doing that. hey, it's not wrong, it's not bad form if that's what you want to do, but it's probably not what you want to do if you want to hit lats. Basically, when it comes to bodybuilding, you're targeting certain muscles. So it's not like, okay, I come down here and then I press and then I do this or that. No, that's the whole idea of all these different machines is the concept of this machine does this machine does that, does this. You're targeting, isolating certain muscles. So that's pretty much about it. No, listen, hold on. There's one more thing. When you're on the bench press machine, as well as, I want to just make this clear, as well as you're on the seated fly and the seated seated fly going forward as well as backwards. When you adjust that seating position, okay, you're getting in different angles of your chest, different angles on your back. You bring a little different muscles into play, and this is a good thing. So if someone sees you on it, it's like, well, you look a little too low, a little too high. Say, yeah, I know I'm too high on this machine. I know I'm too low. Now, if it doesn't feel good to you, it feels like it's uncomfortable. Where, let's say, if you're in a bad position on the abdominal crunch, but you see it up way too high, and you go to go forward, and the seating back of you crunches your, Okay, I'm not talking about something being uncomfortable. What I'm talking about is getting different angles where it's comfortable, but it's just not like the norm. Like, let's say, for instance, if someone sees you on the pec fly machine and you're seated up really high and your arms are down here, maybe like, you're a little too high because your hands are here. Like, no, I know I'm too high. I'm trying to get the low angle as well as the other angles, and I move the seat up and down. As it's like, I'll do a couple of reps with the seat all the way up, a couple of reps with the seat one step down, a couple of reps with the seat all down, boom, boom, boom. So I'm changing my seating position to get different angles intentionally. And it's okay if you have your power zone right in the middle, and then you can reduce the weight a little bit and get the other angles as well. So there you go. More videos in the works.